Ooh. Bored with the ordinary, darling? Need something to ignite your imagination? Hee hee, lucky you. I collect story sparks in these flames. Little adventure hooks that love to grow into epic tales. So curious to see what I've caught tonight. The biting chill of Raven's Hollow City morgue wraps around you like silk, but not the comfortable kind. No, this silk has teeth. Listen. Do you hear that? Those distant sounds floating through the stone walls like whispered secrets. Festival preparations, darling. Workers testing the great bell of Founders Square. Its deep, resonant tolling, reminding everyone, that tomorrow marks another anniversary, another celebration, another gathering of souls. The air here is so thick, sweetheart, so heavy with the scent of astringent chemicals that try desperately but fail to mask the stillness of death itself. And underneath it all, there's something else, something sharp and electric, like the ozone that dances in the air after lightning strikes. Can you smell it too? Task that brought you here should have been routine, my dear. Just identifying the victim from last night's back alley brawl. Such a simple task, but nothing is ever simple when the shadows start whispering, is it? As you examine the body, something feels wrong. This wasn't just some random street fight. No. Look closer at those knuckles, darling. They're stained with brass shavings that catch the lamplight like tiny stars. And clutched in that rigid fist. Oh, what's this? Your fingers carefully pry open those cold, stiff fingers to reveal a small, perfectly crafted gear. Far too fine, far too beautiful for any common laborer to possess. Such intricate workmanship, such delicate craftsmanship. The sea coroner, his name is Ansel, and he's such a fussy little man with perpetually pursed lips and wire-rimmed spectacles that perch on his nose like nervous birds. Watch how he slides that leather-bound ledger across the metal table toward you. His movements are sharp, efficient. He wants this business concluded, doesn't he? Your signature here confirms the identity, he says, his voice clipped and cold. A sad business, truly, but necessary. Now, if you'll excuse me, he begins arranging his tray of gleaming surgical instruments, each movement making it abundantly clear that your presence is an unwelcome disruption. Such delicate tools, such sharp, beautiful blades. Captain Valerius stands silently by the heavy oak door, and oh, his weathered face is more troubled than usual tonight. You notice his eyes keep drifting to another slab nearby, one draped in rich purple velvet rather than simple linen. Curious, isn't it? But as you lean down to sign the ledger, my dear, you hear it. A faint sound, almost too soft to notice, like a secret being whispered in an empty room. A steady, rhythmic tick-tock, tick-tock. You pause, don't you? Your quill hovering over the parchment like a bird afraid to land. The sound is there. Undeniable. You glance up at Valerius and Ansel, but neither man seems to react. The ticking comes again, a quiet pulse echoing through the cavernous silence of the morgue, like a heartbeat. Your eyes trace the sound across the room to that purple velvet draped slab. Each step echoes in the stone chamber as you approach, and the ticking grows clearer, more defined, more urgent with each footfall. What is that ticking, you ask, your voice barely a whisper? It's an old building, Constable. Ansel sighs heavily, dismissively. The pipes knock and settle. The foundation creaks. Are we quite finished here? But Valerius steps forward, and something sharp and new flickers in his weathered eyes like candlelight. Ansel, just let them look. After Magistrate Thorn died so suddenly, I'm not dismissing anything as settling pipes. Go reach out slowly and pull back that rich fabric. Beneath lies Magistrate Thorn, his pale face frozen in an expression of profound shock, his glassy eyes fixed on the vaulted ceiling above, as if seeing something terrible in the darkness. And the ticking, the ticking is coming from his chest. Pipes don't do that, you say, and your voice sounds so small in this vast, cold space. Ansel scoffs, marching over with his little quick steps, post-mortem spasms, lividity settling in the tissues. It can cause all manner of twitches and sounds. But you see it too, don't you, darling? A faint, rhythmic flutter beneath the pale skin of his chest, perfectly synchronized with that damnable sound. And there, just visible beneath the unnaturally pale flesh, a tiny mark on his collarbone. It's barely noticeable, but your trained eyes catch it like a secret lover's glance, a delicate etching that looks like a child's rocking horse. This isn't a twitch. This isn't natural. Your gut, your adventurer's instinct, screams that something is deeply, fundamentally wrong here. And you know what? You should always trust those instincts, shouldn't you? You lean closer closer, your breath quickening. Your trained eyes scan that unnaturally still flesh, searching for answers in the shadows. There's something there. A shadow, a shape just beneath the surface that you can't quite make out. The subtle discoloration gives it away, and that sharp ozone smell is stronger here, wrapping around you like invisible fingers. Something is buried under there, my dear. Something that shouldn't exist. Ansel protests with his shrill little voice. Really, this is most irregular. But Captain Valerius grabs a nearby oil lamp and holds it high, the flame dancing like a trapped spirit. If there's something unnatural about Thorn's death, we need to know. I've got 6 other families demanding answers. In the brighter, dancing light, the shadow resolves into clarity. And by the gods, you see a glint, a tiny, unmistakable spark of reflected light from beneath the skin itself. It catches the lamplight for just a heartbeat. Polished brass where no brass should ever be. The sight is so wrong, so utterly impossible, that the entire room falls silent, save for that steady, maddening ticking. Even the air seems to hold its breath. And then, as you all stare, mesmerized by the impossible, a new sound begins. It's a melody, faint and tinny, like a music box playing from very far away. Beautiful in its way, but hauntingly strange. The tune is familiar. You heard children in the alley singing it just this morning as they skipped rope, their innocent voices carrying the haunting refrain through the narrow streets. Do you hear that music? You ask, your voice barely above a whisper. Music? I don't hear anything but that damned ticking, Valerius gruffs, confused. There's no music here, Ansel says dismissively, but his voice wavers just a little. But you hear it, don't you, my sweet traveler? The melody weaves its intricate tune through your mind, like silk thread through a needle. It's not fading or growing louder. It simply is. Present, constant, and the terrifying realization washes over you like ice water. It's not coming from the room. It's in your head. Valerius runs a hand through his graying hair, his concern evident in every line of his weathered face. This is beyond the city watch. Whatever this is, we need someone who understands mechanisms. He gestures to one of his men by the door with trembling fingers. Send word to the Artificers Guild. Tell them we need their top expert on micromechanics. Now. Minutes pass in tense silence, and you can hear your own heartbeat mixing with that infernal ticking. Then the heavy morgue door swings open with a creak that echoes through the chamber like a sigh, and a half-elf woman strides in. She's sharp-eyed and intelligent, with intricate brass goggles pushed up onto her forehead and a leather satchel slung across her shoulder. Her movements speak of someone accustomed to precision and authority and secrets. Captain Valerius, I'm Alara Brightforge. You said this was urgent. She freezes, taking in the scene before her. The uncovered magistrate, the grim-faced captain. You staring at the body with dawning horror written across your features like poetry written in blood. Her professional demeanor evaporates like morning mist, replaced by intense, scholarly fascination that makes her eyes gleam in the lamplight. What, in the name of all the gods, is that? Alara asks, pointing at the glint beneath Thorn's skin with a finger that trembles just slightly. You explain what you've discovered, traveler. The impossible ticking coming from a dead man's chest, the glint of brass beneath pale skin, that small rocking horse mark etched so delicately on his collarbone, the sharp chemical smell that hangs in the air like a warning. As you describe the melody only you can hear, that haunting tune that weaves through your mind, her face grows pale with recognition, like someone who's just remembered a nightmare. May I? She asks, approaching the body. Without waiting for permission, she selects a scalpel from Ansel's tray with practiced ease. If what I suspect is true. She ignores Ansel's continued protests and makes a swift, shallow incision over the glinting spot. There is no blood. The skin parts cleanly, like parting curtains, to reveal gods above. A small, intricate heart of brass and copper whirring and ticking in the hollow of the man's chest, gears within gears. Springs and mechanisms of impossible delicacy. As Alara lifts the device with forceps, her eyes lose focus for a second. Wait, she whispers, her voice distant and dreamy. That music, I hear it now too. Her face darkens with recognition as she examines the clockwork heart, turning it this way and that in the lamplight. I know this work, this maker's mark, the rocking horse. I'd recognize it anywhere. This is Silas Cogwright's craftsmanship. He was once the finest toy maker in the city. Obsessed with micromechanics and harmonic frequencies. Alara's voice grows heavy with memory, thick like honey mixed with sorrow. Silas was a member of our guild before everything went wrong. His daughter Melody died 3 winters past, on Founder's Day. She fell ill with the lung rot. You know, the sickness that comes from breathing too much factory smoke and drinking from the polluted wells. Valerius nods grimly, his face etched with old pain. remember that case. Poor child couldn't have been more than 7. Silas blamed the city. Alara continues, still examining the device with reverent care. Wait. Her eyes widen with sudden understanding, pupils dilating like flowers. That song in our heads? Silas used to hum it to his daughter. He called it Melody's Lullaby. She looks closer at the device, her face growing pale as fresh snow. These are just clockwork hearts. Look at these resonance chambers here. He was obsessed with sonic frequencies. Gods, these are just tickers. They're receivers. Valerius steps forward, understanding dawning. Receivers for what? The horrible truth crashes over you all at once. Everyone puts it together simultaneously. A tense, shared moment of dawning horror that makes the air itself seem to thicken. The melody you breathe, and the word tastes like ashes on your tongue. And these hearts are bombs, Ilera whispers, pointing to chambers filled with alchemical compounds that gleam. Look at these pressure triggers. The sonic resonance isn't meant to just activate them. It's meant to trigger them simultaneously. Every heart, every device, all at once. How many more devices could be out there? Valerius asks, his voice heavy with dread. He's going to turn the entire festival into his daughter's funeral pyre, Ilera adds, her voice trembling, her voice barely audible. The morgue falls into a dreadful quiet, broken only by the soft, steady ticking of the clockwork heart in Alara's trembling palm. It sounds so innocent, doesn't it? Like a child's toy. But toys can be dangerous when they're made by broken hearts. The phantom melody continues to weave through your minds, yours and Ilara's, a constant maddening reminder of what's to come. The tune is beautiful, but wrong, like a lullaby sung in a graveyard by voices that should be silent. Before anyone can react, the morgue door creaks open again with the sound of old hinges protesting. A young city clerk pokes her head in, clutching a stack of festival permits against her chest like a shield. "Excuse me, Captain Valerius." She stops as she catches the phantom melody resonating in your heads, her face lighting up with innocent delight. "Oh, what a lovely tune. It's so catchy. Oh." The clerk, completely unaware of the danger, begins to hum along with the beautiful melody floating through her mind. Her innocent voice carrying the first few bars of Melody's lullaby through the stone chamber like a death sentence wrapped in silk. "No!" both you and Ilara scream, but it's too late. The reaction is instantaneous and catastrophic. The clockwork heart in Ilara's hands begins to vibrate violently. The ticking accelerates to a furious blur as internal mechanisms whir to life with mechanical screams. A high-pitched whine builds rapidly, growing louder and more painful with every passing second, drilling into your skull like a silver needle. "Everyone down!" Ilara shouts. But there's nowhere to run in the stone morgue, nowhere to hide from what's coming. The heart explodes, not with fire and smoke, but with pure concussive force and a burst of searing alchemical light that turns the world white. The blast sends everyone flying backward as the stone walls crack and buckle with sounds like breaking bones. Chunks of masonry rain down from the vaulted ceiling like deadly tears, and the heavy wooden door is blown off its hinges, flying into the night like a broken bird. The oil lamps crash to the floor, plunging the ruined morgue into darkness as dust and debris fill the air, choking and blinding. You can hear groaning both from your companions and from the building itself as it settles into its new, damaged state, with sighs and whispers of settling stone. The ringing in your ears finally subsides, and you can see through the settling dust. You realize the horrible truth. The main exit is completely blocked by fallen stone. The windows are too narrow and too high to reach, like eyes that have been sewn shut. You're trapped in the ruins of the morgue with the knowledge that somewhere in the city above, a mad toy maker is preparing to turn tomorrow's celebration into a massacre. 6 more clockwork hearts are ticking away in the chests of the city's remaining leaders, and the great bell will ring at noon. And the phantom song in your head plays on, as if mocking your predicament, as if laughing at your helplessness.